With Uber Reserve, good things come to those who plan ahead. Family vacay? Reserve your ride as soon as you book your flights. To all the planners, now you can reserve your Uber ride up to 90 days in advance. See Uber app for details.
Hello, I'm Alison Larkin, writer, comedian, narrator, and host of the Jane Austen podcast. Join me as we embark on a journey through Austen's timeless stories, starting with Pride and Prejudice. The Jane Austen podcast with Alison Larkin is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello, world, and welcome back to another episode of Thanks for Coming In. I'm your host, Jillian Clare. What is everyone doing this October? Have you been doing some fun Halloween stuff? I definitely have. I went to Halloween Horror Nights, and I went to another really fun maze out here, and there's definitely more stuff I want to do, but I'm probably going to save the pumpkin carving until, like, day of, because last time we did it, they legitimately rotted overnight because this is California. So saving that, but I did find somebody to make my Halloween costume for me. Thank the Lord. She is doing an incredible job. I have a fitting tomorrow again to look at it. This is the first time I've ever had somebody make a Halloween costume for me. So I'm really freaking stoked. It's gonna be so good. Yay. Anyway, I hope you're doing some fun Halloween stuff. And speaking of spooky things, kind of in the same area there, I will be on the podcast Somewhere in the Skies this week, talking all things alien abduction, the movie that I was in. Not just alien abductions, but, you know, the actual movie. So check that out. It's called Somewhere in the Skies. I had a great time doing a little video for Ryan over there. And yeah, if you like aliens, you should listen to that podcast. Today on the show, we have Anastasia Washington. I had the best time talking with her, a incredible woman and just a force, and I'm so stoked to see what she does in her career. So here's my conversation with Anastasia Washington. And welcome to the show, Miss Anastasia Washington.
Hi, everyone.
How are you on this fine day?
I'm good. It's very cloudy in LA, which I love.
I know, right? I woke up and I was like, oh my God, please stay this way all day. I just want to wear a sweater and like nothing else. I just want to be, I have a glass of tea right here. I'm ready to just curl up.
Yeah, watch the rest of Squid Game and
Oh
Baking
my God.
Champion and just never move.
Okay, let's, yeah, no, I'm with that 100%. 100%. I'm ready for that.
Yes.
Squid Game, where are you in it? Because I just finished it the other night and my brain exploded.
I just finished it, but I really think I might rewatch. I might do
Yeah.
it.
It was one of those shows. I haven't had a show like affect me that much in so long, where I was just sitting there going, oh God, can I watch the next episode? Like, can I do it? But then you have to, because you want to. You like want to know what happens, but still.
For sure. And I'm a big fan of that like genre. Like I am a big fan of like Battle Royale, which is a Japanese series of horror films that is kind of like it, but not. Like I like that kind of like you know, putting people in extreme situations and seeing if people will be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is like
kind of
never.
like auditions. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey.
I'm just kidding.
We're talking to those of you who try to psych us out. FYI.
Exactly. I see you.
I see you, damn it. Yeah, I don't know about you, but that marble episode, just like my anxiety levels were so high. I was like, I stopped it multiple times because I was like, I can't take this. I can't take this.
The marble episode, and then I would say the like I want to call it like a chess board, but it's like glass.
Yeah. The bridge.
I was like, are they playing chess? I don't understand. Where it's like, what childhood game is this? I don't remember stepping on glass.
I know. I think it was, what was that one where you like hopscotch? I think it was trying to be like hopscotch. in my
that makes
head.
sense because I was like, Mom, you never let me walk on glass.
Right. This is not, unless it's like a Korean something that I'm totally messing up by saying it's hopscotch, but to me, that's what it represented.
I mean, that makes more logical sense than my thought process. So I'm going to go with yours on that one
I love
for
that.
sure.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
well, enough of the Squid Game.
Yes,
I
enough.
want to talk to you about you, because that's
Okay.
why we're here. So tell me a little bit about what got you started in the industry. I mean, obviously, you have like 1,000 jobs within the industry. You're one of those badass women who just takes on it on everything, and I love that.
Oh, thank
So what what got you started in it? Like, what made you say, "Oh, I'm an entertainer, and I have to do this now"?
you. So I started as a kid actor. I apparently was very, I don't want to say annoying, entertaining. And I wouldn't stop like tap dancing and singing, and there's this moment where my parents took me to an amusement park, and we are supposed to be watching the show, and of course I decided to just like perform instead. And then when people like clapped and applauded for the show, I took a bow, and my mom was like, all right, so like let's get her an agent. And so then I did, and I worked pretty steadily through my childhood. And it's just, I've never not known that I wanted to be an entertainer.
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't know. I just never know what that's going to look like from the day to day, right? I just
Right.
roll with it, roll with the times, roll with what I can create and what I can do. Because I think that's what you have to be. I know a lot of people are like, just focus on one, which is it's a great strategy for some people.
Right.
Not exactly where I like to be. I like to be busy. I like to keep active and try different
Same.
things, and you know to each
Well,
their own.
and I think it's like, the times have changed so much. You can't rely on, just hoping that you'll get lucky one day. You just can't rely on that anymore, because it used to be much more common. People, would come out of nowhere and all of a sudden have like this amazing career, but that doesn't happen as much as it used to. So
Right.
especially with social media and the ability now to create our own content and release it for the world to see, there's really, I don't see a reason to not have a multifaceted career at this point. Like, if you're an
Agreed.
artist,
And
you're an artist.
yeah, I agree. And I think also coming from being a child actor and singer, I there was a point in my life where like I had to start making decisions for myself, and I was like, wait,
Mhm.
what? Like, I have to do this? Wait, my mom doesn't come to auditions with me, and
Yeah.
I have to be alone on set. And there was this like loss of like, I had so many elements controlled for me. And then
Mhm.
there was like, oh, I can do something about this. Like, I don't have to sit and wait and see if
Mhm.
somebody makes this decision for me. I can make this decision for me. And if nobody's calling, I can pick up a phone and call, or I can make something. I can
Right.
do something that shows something about me off. Um
Mhm.
and I can broaden my community, which I think is so important. Like, it's just essential to say yes to things,
Yeah.
not to like to the point where you're getting taken advantage of, but just to say yes, because one day you're gonna need that help too on your project,
Right.
and you'll have a community. um
Well, and that
yeah.
even goes back to, just filmmaking in general. I mean, you look at
Hmm.
somebody like Judd Apatow, who has created this community of people that he consistently uses because that's
Yeah.
his group. That those are his people, those are his friends. And James Gunn is doing the same thing right now with his films, where it's like, yes, you see the same people, but he also adds in new people, but he's found those people that he enjoys creating with, which if you don't enjoy creating with who you're with, then it's kind of silly anyway.
Well, and that's so true. Like, it's such a laborious work of love to make a film, right?
Mhm.
It's great. We're lucky to do it, but also it's a lot.
Yeah.
And I do see a lot of like male community makers, and I hope that we see more female community makers, and I hope I'm
Yeah.
one of those female community makers. Um as we see more opportunities for females in the industry, and as we get higher up, I want those community builders like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, very good at making
Oh,
community,
very good. Well, and you're seeing it
Elizabeth
now with
Banks,
like,
so good at
oh my God,
making
I love
community
Elizabeth
for
Banks.
comedy. Yeah.
And you're seeing it with like Ava DuVernay right now too, with
Mm-hmm.
her entire platform that she's built as well for all of these crew members to be able to come together and build that community, which is
Exactly.
really inspiring. She's like the coolest woman in the industry right now, in my opinion. But she's like so
She
inspiring with
is.
this stuff
Yeah.
like that she's doing constantly to like make a more inclusive, diverse community full of people that can fight for themselves as well. And we're not just all relying on like some dude to make a decision for us. We're like saying, hey, we're going to do it.
Exactly. And I think that is one of my main focuses, is to find those like community members that I can be around. And I've found some really great communities like Hoo Ha Ha, Elizabeth Banks. Hoo Ha Ha is like
Mm-hmm.
a great place for comedians. I have met so many amazing creators and women through that
Mm.
platform. And the Women of Color list, always lifting each other up, getting mentorships and hustling. And I'm like, there are people out there. There is
Mm-hmm.
communities for women out there, like Women in Film. It's another one, like
Love them.
these are ones that we can get involved in, and we can help each other, and we can broaden this community, and we can hire each other.
Yes.
And, that's where I want to be. Like, I want to be in these communities. I want to bring us up together. I've met so many amazing people through them. I mean, it's scary. I'm not gonna lie. You're a woman, and you're going to these like different community events, and you're like, oh, I'm, where do I talk to people? Like, what do I do? It's always great to go with somebody else, but you can't always
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
But I'm annoying, and I'll start a conversation with people. I'll be like, hey, I
I
like your
envy
shirt.
that. I envy that. I like your shirt.
I don't know. You just try something. You're like, your earrings are great. That is the best way to start a conversation.
Your earrings are great. I love
something,
those.
something. Then like, I don't know. And you started it off on like a good note. Like, and I always wear. I like to wear statement pieces. Like, I wear shirts that say something, or big earrings or something. And I'm hoping that somebody will be like,
Oh, so you're
or I'll
pulling
wear
people
nerdy.
in.
Yeah, I try. I sometimes do it. Like, or
I like it.
like nerdy elements that, like, and if somebody gets my nerd reference, I'm like, yes, you are my
Oh, you're a good
people.
one. You're a good one.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of felt like as a kid, from the very start, like just being biracial and being like kind of like what are you is like the biggest icebreaker I always get. Like, people just
Mm,
walk up to me and be like, what are you? We were talking
no
about it, and
way.
we were you're like, well, at least we're talking.
I can't believe that people actually do that. That is such a bold choice to make. Oh my God.
Literally last night I was at a comedy show, and these people were discussing, and they were like, we thought you were Irish and black. And I was like, well, you're right. Thank you.
But like, dude.
But they
What
talk
the
to me, and they're like, oh, so you're a stand-up comedian? Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And then they go into the weird questions. We're like, okay, how black is your father? Which one? I'm like, I don't know, honey. Like, thank you. Follow me on Insta.
Oh my God. Follow me on Insta. I'm now going to leave this conversation. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Holy shit.
But
That's
listen, it
wild.
started a conversation. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it did. Is
yeah.
it the conversation you want to be in? Is the
I
question.
mean, listen, I don't mind talking about stuff like that as long as you come
Yeah,
at me in a nice way. Like, I don't
right.
mind. I think it's important for me, like being biracial, to kind of bridge those gaps and talk to
Mm,
people about stuff that they're, I mean, I'm like, listen, I didn't choose to be this way, but
right.
it's a great position to show empathy and to give people, you know, a platform to ask their questions, hopefully in a safe way and hopefully in a respectable way, and
Exactly.
to discuss it. It doesn't always happen that way, and
Yeah.
that's fine. But I think that's why I got into entertainment in the first place, is so that I could have conversations like that, and have teachable moments be fun, you know,
Yeah.
especially in comedy. Just be like, okay, cool, yeah, well, when you ask things like
Can you do
that,
this? Just so you know, don't.
don't. But also, now that you're here, we can talk.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. And I just think, like, you know, being an entertainer, you're just so much more approachable than other people. So
Right.
I know it's a lot of responsibility on us, but at the same time, I'm like, well, you know, while you're here, might as well like do some
Educate.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can shop from anywhere doing pretty much anything. You might shop while working, eating, or even listening to this podcast. And however you shop, we all know and love the thrill of the hunt. But do you also know how to get the thrill of the best deals? Because Rakuten shoppers do. With Rakuten, they get the deals they love with the most savings and cash back. And you can get it too. Start getting cash back at your favorite stores like Sephora, Nike, and even Expedia if you're looking to get some travel in. And getting cash back doesn't mean you have to miss out on sales, because those can just be stacked right on top. It's easy to use and based on a simple idea. Stores pay Rakuten for sending them shoppers, and Rakuten shares the money with you as cash back through PayPal or check. Download the free Rakuten app and never miss a deal. Or go to Rakuten.com to start getting the most bang for your buck. That's Rakuten. As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But we also sell merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell and grow at every stage of your business, from the launch your online shop stage all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. They have an all-in-one e-commerce platform and in-person POS system, so wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. With the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms, Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers. Shopify has allowed us to share something tangible with the podcast community we've built here, selling our beanies, sweatshirts, and mugs to fans of our shows without taking up too much time from all the other work we do to bring you even more great content. And it's not just us. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US. Shopify is also the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/REALM now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/realm.
Yeah.
Well, that brings me to your one-woman show. Let's talk about that. 50 Shades of Mixed: Confessions of Your Ethnically Ambiguous Best Friend. What a title, first off. Tongue twister all around, and I love it. I'm here for it. Tell me a little bit about this show.
Yeah, I mean, it's like reflections of the first 10 years of my life as a biracial child in LA and as an actor. And it touches on some pretty tough stuff, I'm not gonna lie. But, you know, I'm a big believer in re-narrations and taking back your story and seeing what good can come of it. Like, you know, I have a friend that always kind of asks this question, like, what would, if you could take away a memory, would you do it? And I think about that a lot, and I don't think I would. Like, I think one of the things about going through the one woman show and like writing it and performing it that I got was like, these are things that, yes, may be negative and like, God, like sometimes like I wish that didn't happen to me, but at the same time,
Mm.
if I like who I am and I like how I deal with things, I don't have to love that happened to me, but I mean, obviously that's something that happened to me, and it became me, you know?
Right. It must
So
have been
I
a
don't,
very like cathartic experience writing this and going through your emotions kind of
oh,
by
for sure.
yourself and figuring it out. I mean, that must have been such a like release.
Yeah, it was such a release. I also think it was interesting when my family or friends watched it, right? And so like
Ah,
they have their own like view of me, and
right.
they have their own view of my experiences, and they have their own experiences, and so it was very interesting that like my family watched
Mm,
and they talked about the like those memories too, and like what they remembered from it and how they felt about it and how it affected them. And um I think it was really interesting because I am a happy-go-lucky person. I do comedy mostly, and I think people were expecting like this is gonna just be funny, 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 and
comedy show,
yes,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I will say we did, it dug deep, and there was
Mhm.
some stuff that people are like, ooh, but that's the kind of comedy I
Yeah.
like. I'm like the ooh, and then I tell you it's okay and you can laugh and then you're fine.
Yeah.
And then you're fine. I was like, I'm okay. See, I'm standing up on stage, I am fine.
Right.
That's what therapy's for. We're all
Exactly.
okay. Therapy and cake will get us through it all.
Yes. Oh my God, that needs to be a t-shirt. Can you create that t-shirt? I'll buy it.
Yes. I love it. But yeah, I mean, it was such an interesting experience. I think also another thing that it helped me do was really understand other members of my family, when I was
Mm,
starting to do research about like, like putting up pictures and putting up things to support, the production. I learned a lot about my dad,
really?
and uh like, my dad was like a pretty tough like man that brought himself up from the south side of Chicago and made something of himself in a time that it was not okay to do
Yeah.
that as a black man. So he experienced a lot, but he was also very harsh. Like he was like a very
Mm,
like blunt person. And I think I had my way of dealing with it, which is very comedic. It's like like my dad would come in and be like, oh my god, you have a pimple, and did you get that job, are you ever gonna, and then I'd be like, then I would honk his nose and I would say, you have to say one positive thing before we can continue, and then you can go back, like like, and then I was just like, what, that was the way I dealt with it. And then when I was doing research on the show, I realized a lot about like how that was just like preparation for the world and how they
yeah.
were going to evaluate you and toughening you up, um and how he grew up and how the things he had to hear and stuff like that.
Mm,
And I read his poetry and I put it up, and um so yeah, I mean, I think I learned a lot about motivations from people as well, which I think is such a blessing,
yeah.
to be like, oh, okay, well now I get it. Like I get where you're coming from.
Right.
Yeah.
This sounds amazing and I want to watch it. Is there a way people can watch it? Are you going to put it back up or
I think, yeah, so it's at the Whitefire Theater's website. I think they're going to re-release it on digital, so that you can
awesome?
watch it. I'm not sure the release date for that because we just redid it a couple months ago, like, and
Yay.
put it up.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be on streaming soon, soon,
Okay,
soon.
good. And speaking of streaming, let's go over to the other thing that you just did, which you acted in, directed in, wrote, and produced, Disordered.
Yes.
Tell me about this web series that you did.
So, a group of me and my comedy stand-up comedic friends, we realized that we all had some kind of disordered eating. We wanted to
Mm,
write this like thing about eating disorders in a funny way, and and we started writing it before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened, and we're like, oh, we really, really, really don't want to not do it. And I think also we would talk about things and we'd be like, God, this is triggering, or this is making me feel this way. And like, I feel like we have a lot to express right now. So we produced it. We did it over Zoom. We talked about all kinds of disorders, not just eating. And hopefully we made people laugh, but also think about how it looks. Like, I think we have this very small visual of what an eating disorder or disordered eating looks like. Like, there's like this blonde, skinny girl that's suffering. Yep. And that is true. There are people like that. There's also curvy girls, I remember when I like came out to my family as like somebody that was fighting with an eating disorder, or even if I told some of my friends, they were like, but you are, and I'm like, yeah, so not all of us are successful. No, I'm just kidding. So not all of us are skinny. It looks like a whole bunch of different things, and it's and I think for me and my fellow writers of Disordered, we wanted to have people know that you could be struggling and look like a variety of things. And your friend could be suffering and they could look like a variety of things. And we really like eventually want to get into male disordered eating too, because I feel like that is such a stigma, and I would love
Huge
to get
stigma.
into that more. Yeah. So that is definitely a goal. We touch on it a little bit in season 1, but I would love to go deeper. I would love to.
Season 2, baby.
Yeah, season 2. And so far it's done pretty well. We're in the Black Women in Comedy Festival that is next week, premiering one of our episodes where I dragged my mom into an episode, and that's the episode that is premiering at the festival. Love it. It was awesome to have her act in it, and then she also was like, "Do I say those things?" I was like, "Well, I did write it."
Oh. Oh my gosh. That's so cool. I mean, that's like, it's such a timely subject too, with social media creating such body dysmorphia for so many people. Yeah. I mean, I know I've gone through, like everyone I know has some form of body dysphoria because of social media and everything that's kind of pushed on us all the time. So this is a very timely show. I'm very excited to watch it. Before we get to your audition story here, I just want to give a quick shout out because you were in Delicate State with Paula Rhodes, who I had on the show a couple weeks ago. And I just want to be like, oh my God, connection.
Were you at the premiere?
No, she was on the podcast right before the premiere. So we talked about the movie and the making of it, which was so cool. It must have been such a fun experience to be a part of it as well.
Oh my gosh, yes. And like, we come from the nerd world. Me and Paula have hosted together for years. And so it's just great to see this journey. It's awesome. Like that she
like we were saying earlier, it's the community and women building community with each other. So that's a prime example of it right there.
For sure. Yeah. We have each other's back when we need it, for sure.
I love that. Okay, well, on this show, we like to share audition stories that have either gone awry, the ones that have got away, the ones that have made us cry, and the ones that have made us laugh. Do you have any stories that you would like to share with the listeners?
Oh gosh, I teeter between two. Okay, so I think I have to say this one that like drove me crazy. I was in a commercial audition a few years ago, and it was like one of those phone commercials, and they're like, bring your phone in, everyone bring their phone in, but put it on silent and use it as your tool for this commercial. Like that, yes, use your phone, put it on silent. Seems reasonable. Like, yes, okay. So it was one of those auditions where we are not alone. We're like lined up, like 4 of us are lined up in there, and we're doing actions or whatever. This guy answers his phone in the middle of the audition. And has a conversation.
No.
With the person on the phone, and like doesn't feel like he's gonna get off anytime soon. Like literally we're in the middle of a take, like we've slated, and now they're like, okay, this is the action, blah blah blah, now let's go. And he just answers his phone. It's like, yeah, I'm in an audition. And like I was like, yeah, like we kind of all are in
Yeah.
in an audition.
Yeah,
And
bro,
I've
you're
ne-
in an audition. What are you doing?
I have never seen a casting director get more upset in my life. He was like so pissed. And I get it. Like I just never have seen somebody like casting directors are so like cool. You know,
Yeah.
they're just kind of like whatever. I'll note
Yeah.
this later. This guy lost it on this dude and I was like, yeah, Warrington.
No, yeah, he deserves that. Do it. Lose it. Lose your mind.
Lose it. So he was like, get out, blah, 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 blah. And then we did our auditions. And I was like, there's no way anybody in this room gets a call back. All of us got a call back.
Stop it.
Not the guy. Not the guy. Not him. I don't know if it was like, they're like, if you could handle being around that and you kept your cool, then like, we'll bring you back in. But
Right.
it was pretty funny because I was just like, well, that's just a wash. But it wasn't.
Wow.
I know.
I
was
can't
like,
believe the
audacity.
dude just answers the phone in the middle of an audition room. Not even like the waiting room. You're
Right?
in the audition room. You are
In a
doing your
take.
thing. In the middle after you've slated. And you're gonna answer your phone?
I was like, the audacity. Like, I mean,
The audacity.
I gotta say, I would never have the courage. Well, I would never be that rude, but also, let's call it courage. I would never be able to have the courage to do that. There's no way.
I want to know who he was talking to that it was so important that he answered that phone.
Right?
Like, who was it?
But
Who was on the other side?
I don't know. Because he was like, hey, what up? Yeah, I'm in the audition.
Okay, so it was
You
clearly
know.
not like an agent or manager, like a family lawyer, or like anything that would be like, you need to answer this.
No, I did not have any urgency, I don't think, either. You know, and it's so funny because I think, like, in this new age, we get moments like that. Like, I was in a stand-up show over Zoom during the pandemic where somebody answered their phone during somebody's set and talked. Like, and was like, nah, I'll be done with this show, then we can, you want to hook up later? Okay, we're going to, and everyone was like, your phone, you're not muted. You're not muted.
You're not muted.
Sir,
you need to mute yourself.
And they're like, oh, my bad. I was like, it's okay. Now we know where you're going later.
Yeah. Now we're all going to show up and yell at you for interrupting the set.
I mean, it wasn't my set, but I still feel the need to yell.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'll ever be over that. The audacity of that man to just answer his phone. Like,
I just don't even know what your thought process is. Like, I don't know. I just don't even know.
I don't know either.
You're just like, yes, I'm in an audition, and there are 3 other people that are also auditioning with me. I will answer my phone.
Those commercial auditions already are kind of awkward because it's like,
yeah,
we're all standing in a line to do the exact same thing. And you're watching the other people and you're like, oh, that was an interesting way of doing it. Oh, he did it that way. And you're like, oh shit, what am I going to do? And then you do it and you're like, oh man, okay. And then you watch more people do it. So then it's just like, it's such a weird way to audition to begin with. It's already a little uncomfortable. And then for him to just add on to that.
But
it's just remarkable.
It really did show me how I did not want to audition. I was like, yep, definitely not doing that in my take.
This this is not how I'm going to handle it. I'm going to do something different.
Very different direction that I'm going to go in.
Oh my God. That is, that's a great story. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That was fantastic.
I hope people learn not to answer their phone during an
Yeah.
audition, but I thought that would be obvious before.
I mean, you would think. You would think. Wow. All right. Well, where can people follow you on the social media to follow all of your happenings and doings and things that are going on in your life?
Oh, yes. Well, you can follow me at Anastasia W on Twitter and TikTok, and at Anastasia Wash on Instagram. Also on YouTube, Anastasia TV. And if you want to hear some comedy meditations, Anastasia TV on any of your podcast apps. I've got 2 meditations out right now, and I'm hoping to do more. So if you feel like you want to laugh and be empowered and relax, check them out.
Hey, a new form of meditation. I dig it. Maybe it's when I can actually get through, because I don't know about you. I'm that person who's like, I don't know, 2 minutes in and I'm just like, is it over?
Well, see, and these are pretty short. Like, there's one that's literally just telling you, like, listening to you when you have a bad day and just encouraging you through it. So that is, if that's what you need, I'm here for you.
We love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I had a blast with you. It was so great to talk to you, and I'm excited to watch your one-woman show and your web series and everything else that you have coming out. So thank you again for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again to Anastasia for coming on the show and talking with me. It was so much fun to meet her, and I can't wait to see what she does, and hopefully I get to see that one-woman show soon. Tune in next week. I have somebody really fun from Impeachment on the show. And until then, if you could just give us some love, rate, review, subscribe. And as always, thanks for coming in.
Talmor, Sheshin Marachi. Talmor is my home. My family have worked the land for generations. My gran says the island does not belong to us, but we belong to the island. And we must be ready, for a great evil is coming, and death follows with it.
Listen and subscribe to the latest season of Undertow, The Harrowing, a Storyglass production presented by Realm, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Alexis Ohanian. You may know me as one of the co-founders of Reddit, but more recently, a large part of my identity is being a father to my 2 wonderful daughters. In my podcast, Business Dad, I'm hoping to open up the conversation about balancing careers and family. The one thing I constantly hear successful people say, without fail, is that they wish they'd spent more time with their kids. That's time no one can get back. So I decided to create Business Dad, to engage in the conversation about how we're spending our time now, providing a forum for successful dads to share their joys and challenges of being a working parent. You'll get to hear from a wide range of business dads, from Rainn Wilson and Guy Raz to Todd Carmichael and Shane Battier. And while this podcast will talk about business and will definitely be featuring dads, I think everyone can learn something from these incredible conversations as we unpack the expectations we all have about careers, relationships, and ourselves. Business Dad is available now, so be sure to listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.